Okay, so Silver Hands. I promised you that I would give you the long version of the story, and there it is. Brace yourself, hang out. It's very graphic, some of it. So if you don't like torturous old fairy tales, then stop listening right now. You're not one of my people. This story starts, well, it starts during a summer like the summer we've just had. There's a lot of forest fires and it's a drought, there's no rain, the harvest is ruined, and there's this farmer, and he's a cattle farmer, he's a milk farmer, and he can't feed his cows because there's no fodder, the grass is fried, it's all brown, it's a disaster, and he's besides himself. He's terrified, he's going to have to sell his farm, he's going to have to sell his everything up, and he's going to go bankrupt, and he's besides himself. And his wife says to him, "Oh, please just go and do something useful instead of pacing up and down in a state of panic, thinking the worst possible thoughts." She says, "Well, why don't you go in the forest and chop some wood? That gives you something to do." And he would get rid of all this anxiety and panic. So he grabs his axe and off he goes. And he starts chopping wood. And he's thinking about the disaster and how he's going to manage. And oh my God, he's going to have to sell all the cattle. And this is going to be terrible. They're going to lose the house and da-da-da-da-da. And he's going on and on and on in his head. And suddenly he's aware that there's a whistling sound somewhere. And he turns around, he looks around and he can't see anything. And the whistling has stopped. So he thinks, oh, well, I've been making it up. And there he sees, sneaking out from behind one of the trees, a man. Very good-looking man, looks rich, very well-dressed, lovely smile, a bit of a moustache, black hair, black outfit. And the man says, "Hello, friend. You look troubled. What's wrong? Tell me." Oh my God, I don't know what possesses the farmer, but he sits himself on the stump and he tells the man everything. How his farm is lost, how his cattle is going to die, and all the things. "Ah," says the man, "don't you worry, my friend. I can sort that out for you." Twiddles his moustache. "Tell you what we'll do. I'll do you a deal. If you gift me what is behind your house in the yard, I will sort it out, and I will make sure that your cows do not die and that you have plenty of money to see you through." And the farmer thinks very quickly, and he thinks, what's behind my house in the yard? Oh my God, it's the old apple tree, and this year has not produced any apples at all because of the drought. So yes, he says, without thinking, he says, of course, kind man, kind, my lord, kind gentleman, doesn't know what to say. "Please, absolutely, you can have what is behind my house in the yard." "Good," says the man. "I will come and collect in a year and a day. Make sure it's ready." "Okay," says the farmer, "I'll see you in a year and a day." And the man goes, whistling all the way. And then suddenly, the farmer realizes that his clothes are changing. He was dressed in very modest clothing, obviously a bit dirty because he'd been working, and now it's all brocade and velvet, and he's got a hat with a feather in it. Can't believe it. And on his hands there's popping rings. So he runs home, and as he's running towards the house, his wife is running out of the house. Her clothes have also changed. Her jewelry is astonishing. She's got rings of pearls around her neck. The farmhouse itself has changed. It's extraordinary. Everything is looking green and lush. The wife says to him, "Husband, what have you done?" "I haven't done anything," says the farmer. "Just I met this man in the wood." "You did what?" she says. "You meet a man in the wood, and then what?" "Well, he offered me a deal, and he wanted the old apple tree." "What do you mean he wanted the old apple tree? What are you talking about, man?" "Well, he said he would have whatever was behind the house in the yard, and that's the old apple tree." Oh my goodness! She's beside herself. She's wailing. "It isn't the old apple tree, you fool. Your daughter was wiping the yard with the broom. She was cleaning the yard with the broom, you idiot. He's got your daughter. Oh, says the farmer, well, it doesn't really matter then, does it? He's obviously a very wealthy man. He'll look after her well. He's coming to collect her in a year and a day. The farmer's wife is mumbling and not very happy about the whole thing. But, they have a word with the daughter, and the daughter is like, well, what can I do, really? I mean, I didn't particularly want to marry a stranger, but he is rich, and my family needs me to sacrifice myself, so, okay, I'll marry him. So a year passes, and, they make a beautiful wedding dress, all white, gorgeous, and on the last day, they bathe her, and they clean her hair, and they do it up, and she's beautiful, and she's standing there. She's standing in the middle of the backyard. Beautiful she is, all dressed in white, the perfect bride. And the man comes along. What? He says. Who's that? What is this? And the farmer says, well, it's your gift. You wanted whatever's left behind. Yes, says the man, but she's far too clean. I can't get to her if she's that clean. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to not allow her to wash for a year and a day. And I want you to not allow her to change for a year and a day, so that when I come back, second time round, to get her, she will be filthy and dirty, and then I can touch her. The farmer, well, he's kind of a bit hesitant, really. So, well, I don't know. Aha, says the man, but if you don't do what I'm telling you to do, you will lose everything. You will lose the beautiful farmhouse, the cattle will die, I will curse you, and that will be the end of that. And I'll have her anyway. And the wife behind is saying to him, don't give up, don't surrender. There's something wrong with this man, he smells funny. But the farmer says, well, that's fine. I mean, really, what does it matter? He has a fetish about people being dirty. It doesn't mean he'd be a bad husband. I mean, he is very rich after all. And the daughter says, well, it is my duty. I need to help my parents and save the farm. So the man goes. And for a year and a day, the girl doesn't wash much. And her dress becomes tattered, disgusting, and her hair's all greasy, and she looks horrible. And in the last day of the year and the day, the man turns up, and he looks like his hands are just like that to seize her, and she's terrified. She suddenly realizes there's something very, very badly wrong. She bursts into tears. Floods and floods of tears come out of her eyes. She rubs her eyes with her hands, and her hands that were disgusting turn white again because of all the tears. And the face is the same. All the tears wash away the grime. And the man says, I can't touch her. She's too clean. I've had enough. This is it. I'm done. And runs away. And of course, immediately, all the riches disappear. And then the man thinks again, turns around, comes back. The farmer is like, please, please, please don't make all the things disappear. I beg you, please, please, please. What can we do? What can we do? Turns around, the man does. And I said, well, the only thing you can do is cut our hands off. Huh? Says the farmer. Oh my goodness, says the wife. What? Yes, says the man. Cut her hands off, then she won't be able to wipe her hands on her face, and therefore she will be filthy dirty and I can have her. So you know what happens? The farmer gets his axe and chops his daughter's hands off. I mean, what else can you do? And the daughter, does she run away in hysterics saying, please, please, please don't cut my hands off. It's a terrible thing to do. No, she doesn't. Because, she wants to help. She wants to save the farm. And that's her duty as a daughter. But you see, unfortunately, there's rather a lot of blood. And it runs down her arms. And that cleans everything. And the man runs away, very, very angry. And the farmer's wife says to her husband, you know that's the devil, don't you? And the farmer suddenly, as if he was waking from a terrible nightmare, realizes what he's done, looks at his daughter's hands on the floor, and the blood is now congealing, and he's terribly sorry. So sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know what came over me. It was pure greed, and of course it's all gone now. Please forgive us, daughter. We will look after you forever. We're so sorry. But the girl has realized something. You can't do this. You can't cut your daughter's hands off because of money. So she says, no, I don't want you to look after me. I want you to bandage my hands, well, my stumps, and then I'm going. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going. So they bandage her as best that they can, and they're pleading with her, saying, please, please stay. And she said, I'm not staying. I'm not staying with somebody who will cut my hands off like that. So she goes. And she walks quite a long way away. And she's very thirsty and very hungry. By the time she gets to a river, and this is a quite wide river, and she can't cross it. And she's looking into the water, and she's thinking, I wish I could cross this river, because then on the other side she can see there's a lot of pear trees. It's like an orchard of pear trees. She can see them glistening. The pears look juicy and delicious. And then suddenly a bridge appears, just out of nowhere. It's extraordinary, really. And she just goes across the bridge, and she's on the other side in the pear orchard. And then she turns around, the bridge is gone. Very strange indeed. And of course now she has a problem, because the trees are quite tall and she can't reach the pears because she's no hands. She can't pick the pears. But one of the pear trees bends his branches towards her mouth enough so that she can take a pear in her mouth. And she starts eating it, nibbling at it. And the tree is kind of like hanging on to the tip of the pear, and she's eating the pear. And it's the best, most delicious pear she's ever tasted. And after she's had the pear, it feels like she's had a banquet. It's marvelous, it's magical, it's spectacular, it's wonderful. And she's exhausted. So she falls asleep. And there she is, sleeping. At that point, it's evening. The king, whose orchard this is, comes along, because every night he likes to make sure his precious pears are safe. And he sees immediately there's a pear missing, and underneath the pear tree there's something curled up, asleep. It's covered with some sort of, I don't know, blanket. And he rips the blanket off, ready to kill the person who's stolen his precious pear. When she wakes up, she looks at him and he's like, oh my God, you're gorgeous. You are so beautiful. Marry me, as they do in the fairy tales. And she thinks, well, what else can I do? I have no hands. I have nothing. I've lost everything. And she says, well, I have no hands. She says, I don't care. I'll sort that out. Don't worry about it. So she marries him. And as a wedding present, he goes to the most expensive magicians in the land from Asia, I think it was, or Japan. And they manufacture a pair of magical silver hands. They can do everything a hand can do. And when you put them on, when she puts them on, or he puts them on her, they seem to click on her stumps. And he is so delighted with himself. He feels he's so clever, he's sorted everything out, all is wonderful. She feels that they're a bit heavy and they're not quite right. They miss things and they... But what can she say? It's a wedding present. He's saved her life. He's saved everything for her. She puts up with it. And as the years pass, the silver hands get worse and worse. And they get more and more clunky. And they don't function very well. But she never tells him that. And they don't fit the stubs. And the stubs become all manky. And it's horrible. But she can't take them off herself, she thinks, because he put them on her. Until one night she can't bear it anymore. He's gone off to war or something, as they do, and she can't cope at all. And she thinks to herself, I don't know what to do, because he put them on me, so I can't take them off. And then she thinks, hold on a minute, I can take one off. So she pulls one off. And there is a stump. And then she just pushes the other one down and it just falls to the ground. And she calls her maid and she says, I've just taken the hands off. Oh my God, says the maid, you mustn't. The master will be absolutely devastated. I'm afraid I don't care, says the woman. She's not a woman. I don't care. I can't bear it anymore. I can't be wearing those silver hands anymore. They just hurt me too much. Will you help me to get away? And the maid, well, she's a loyal maid to her mistress, so she packs the silver hands and some food in a backpack and she puts that on the young woman's back, and the young woman goes. And she goes as far away as she can go. She's exhausted by the time she gets to another forest, and in the middle of that forest, there's a house. You notice how often houses appear in the middle of forests in my stories. And as she's getting towards the house, the door opens, and it's evening by then, and the house is looking so beautifully warm and beautifully cozy, and there's a smell of smoke in the air, and it would be a haven. And the door opens, and this woman, this mature woman, she's not an old crone, she's just a mature woman. She's very spectacular in her behavior. And she says, welcome, I've been expecting you. And the young woman says, what do you mean you've been expecting me? What? Never you mind, says the wise woman. Come in. And the young woman goes in. She never has a name. It's very strange in those stories. People don't have names. That's probably because you can call them whatever you want to call them. And she goes in, and the wise woman says, you're very welcome to move in with me, but you're going to have to learn to do things on your own. Because you see, she's been doing everything with the silver hands, hasn't she? And the young woman says, well, I can't do anything with my hands. Look, I've got stumps. Never mind, says the wise woman. I'll teach you. And she does. Over the next few weeks, she teaches the young woman, Silver Hands, as she's called, to do all sorts of things with her teeth, with her mouth, with her shoulders, with her stumps even, because the stumps heal properly. And she is washing clothes, beating with her stumps, she's beating clothes up. When she realizes that inside the stump, on the scar, there's a tiny hand growing. She looks at the other one and it's the same, like a baby's hand. She can't believe it. She doesn't say anything. She doesn't want to, she doesn't want to curse it. She doesn't want to do anything. And then as the days pass and she's getting more and more independent and knows more and more about how to make simple remedies, how to spin, how to weave, how to cook, her hands grow back. They're not the same hands as our old hands. They are a young woman's hands now, and they're very competent and very capable hands. That's not the end of the story, because as the years pass, she learns more and more, that young woman who used to be a silver hands, and she becomes older. And the wise woman who looked after her also becomes older, until one day the wise woman says to her, it is time. And the young woman says, well, time for what? Never mind, she says. And the next morning when the young woman wakes up, there's nobody in the cottage. There's only a letter on the kitchen table that says, it's all yours now. It's your turn. And the young woman has no idea what she's talking about, but she's not there. The wise woman is gone. She's gone. She doesn't understand. Now, do you know what's happened? Can you work it out? Can you make it happen? Let's see. Let's see what you make of that story. It's a very complex story. It's a story that you can make your own. It's a story that we are going to study in the quest for the Enchantress. We're going to look at for women of a certain age, what does society expect of us? How do we try to comply? How do we buy into the silver hands? Because we don't want to offend anyone. We don't want to upset anyone. And over the years, we learn behaviors, patterns that are not ours. They're other people, other society, whatever. Until our stumps are bleeding, our hands don't exist anymore, they've been replaced by something else. And during the course of the quest, you will be helped to take the silver hands off, and you will start growing your hands back again. So if you're interested, please sign up. The link is in the YouTube somewhere. And I would love to see you. When is the date? We're launching a free call we're having on Sunday 27th of September at 7 p.m. Dublin time, where I will tell you the whole story of how this whole project came about. And we will look at different enchantresses and what they did with their lives. So I hope you enjoyed the story, and I hope to see you on the quest for the Enchantress soon. Blessed be.